I'm going to talk about some awesome new HTML5 technologies that are built into the browser you can take advantage of if you want to. The first one is called Geolocation, and it will return the coordinates the best it can of where you're at. If you're on a cell phone, for example, it will use triangulation of your cell phone signal as well as your Wi-Fi signal to try to triangulate you. If you're on a home computer, it might try to get you based off your IP address or some other things that way. But you can see in here, in combination with some JavaScript, we can go out and go out there and look at this geolocation and get the current position. But one thing it will happen if I hit that, it will ask you to block or allow. So inside of a browser, it will come up here. If you're on a mobile device, it will typically come up on the screen and say something if you want to give it your location. And if you hit allow and try it, it will bring back your latitude and longitude, and you can get that information. Another technology that's kind of fun is called web storage, and you can store variables, and this is a little bit different than cookies, but you have a local storage or a session storage you can write data to. You can see they're writing data to this item called click count, okay, and this is literally stored on my computer, and I can click on it and you can see where that number is going up, and if I refresh my screen and I click on it again, it reserves and keeps that variable on there. And you can see that typically stored just inside of your items in here. I'm trying to remember where that is. It's underneath application. Yeah, you have your session storage and your local storage, and you can see different variables that they're saving. And somewhere in here will be, that number stored that they're writing. Another thing that has kind of come out in combination with the offline storage and things is something called progressive web apps or progressive web applications. And this is where we build our mobile apps, our mobile websites to look more like a app on a phone. And so for example, I've got one here of AliExpress, and when you go into the mobile environment, it looks and reacts very much just like an application that you would download from your computer. So it's kind of cool. Another thing you can do is you can use something called Canvas inside of HTML5, and the way we do that is we have a tag that uses Canvas. We give it a height and width. Okay, and this we have 100 by 200 in here, and then we use JavaScript to reference sections of that page. And in this example, they're going out to my canvas and they're drawing a couple arcs on there in a circle and then putting a stroke on it, and it just kind of creates that circle. And you can take this and go way over the top with this. I've got a couple examples of this photon thing where I can draw some lines or this or that, and it makes changes to the screen. And you can see how Canvas is writing all this data into this box. There's another one here. You can write out a word, web apps or something, and it's just generating letters and putting them into little graphics in Canvas and doing this little particle animation. So kind of fun. These are just some of the fun new things in HTML5 we can play around with. There's quite a few more, but they're pretty awesome. The last thing you can do is you can use SVGs in HTML5, and with these you can go through and draw out your object, and this is pretty awesome as well, because with this now we could go through with JavaScript or CSS and add new elements to it if we wanted to, or change elements of it. If we hover over it or click on it or do something to it, we can make those changes to this. And so SVGs are a way of showing an image but doing it kind of on the screen. So this is also a really kind of cool way of and doing things.